can a plastic surgeon and a 65-year-old book be the possible end game to your limiting self-belief? In this video today, I'm going to dig deep into this book, Psycho Cybernetics, and I want to share with you the 3 most powerful shifts from the book to genuinely make a difference to your life because of your self-limiting beliefs. At the end, I'm going to give you an amazing bonus as it's my 2 favourite takeaways from the book. So let's dive in. We're going to split it into 3 parts. So the first part is your self-image is running the show. So Dr. Maltz, who was a plastic surgeon, noticed that no matter what he did to people, whether it was fix a scar or reshape a nose, the image that they had about themselves remained the same. So if somebody felt that they were unattractive before, they felt that they still were after the surgery had taken place and their features had changed. Why was this? Because they never updated their self-image and they didn't update their self-belief either. And this is where it hits home for most people. We obsess over those small little flaws that are really, really big for us, but nobody else seems to notice. I have this because I have quite a large nose, and for years it really played with and messed around with my head. Nobody else really cared. Thing is, what we do is we replay the worst tape in our heads about what we look like and the beliefs that we have about ourselves. And it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. Your life does not respond to the truth. It responds to what you believe to be true. And here's the thing, none of us have actually learned this. Dr. Maltz, in his book, said, you don't act according to the truth, you act according to what you believe to be true. Your self-image is like a filter. And if that filter says that you're awkward, you always make mistakes, you're clumsy, your hair's awful, you've got fat arms, whatever it may be, then your mind will do everything that it can to prove you right, whether those things are true or not. So what I want you to do today is to rewrite that program. So this is tip number 1. And I'm not suggesting you tell yourself, I'm beautiful, my nose is really small, and it's just like a button. We're going to do a more aligned and more comfortable, because of that, version of a self-image script. So first off, step number 1, ask yourself this. If I truly trusted myself, how would I act? If I didn't need to be perfect, how would I show up? And after you've written these 2 questions down, I want you to write 5 I am statements. Make them present tense, make them believable to you, but also bold. It could be, I am clear in my thoughts and confident in my choices. I trust that I can handle whatever comes up. I am joyful in my everyday life. Once you've written out that self-image, I want you to shut your eyes and just imagine for 5 minutes what your day could look like with this different self-image of yourself. The one who's got joy in their everyday life. And I want you to think through what their day looks like, what they have for breakfast, how they're showing up for things, how they act in meetings, how they make space, say, for joy in their everyday life. And really picture it in your mind. So this isn't just visualising, it's rehearsing and giving your brain some evidence that you can behave that way. Shift number 2, your mind is a goal-seeking machine. Think of it like a GPS in your car, so a sat-nav. And if you type in, I am a failure, what do you think that sat-nav is going to look for? Evidence of when you've been a failure. Maybe you type in, I'm no good at this, I'm gonna mess it up. Again, that's what it's gonna look for. But here's the thing, your brain does not know the difference between reality and what you're telling yourself. The brain itself doesn't feel. What we perceive as true is the brain's best guess based upon our experience of the world. And this world that we actively generate is what we make with our conscious mind. Everybody's actual reality is different. Now I'm going to do a video on this, and if you want to see it, comment below, because it's quite mind-blowing that we do have different realities based upon our experiences. But for today's video, I want you to imagine something different. So this is about building, say, a theatre in your mind. Instead of obsessing over what could go wrong, imagine and rehearse the things that could go right instead. Picture the presentation going smoothly. Give your brain some new evidence to be working from, because as I said, it doesn't know the difference between reality and what you're telling it, or in this case, what you're showing it. Shift number 3. I'd love for you to comment below if you've ever said something that sounds like this. I'll finally relax once I've figured everything out. I'll feel good once I stop second guessing myself. I have lived in this space for many years, and it's almost like you have to give yourself permission that once you've achieved something, that's when then you can have joy. It's almost like it's on the other side of something like clarity. And you'll know this, that moment never ever comes. So what Dr. Maltz tells us in Psycho Cybernetics is that happiness isn't something that is at the end of the finish line. You know, once all your thoughts are perfect in your head. It's actually the fuel that powers your internal guidance system. So what do I mean by this? When you start from a place of calm and self-acceptance and joy, before you do the stuff, you're more likely to achieve it. Your decisions become clearer, you don't get stuck in loops, which is brilliant if you overthink things, and you actually move forward. And momentum in itself is like the Holy Grail. So before you try and do anything, before you solve anything or fix something, give yourself 5 minutes beforehand and do this instead. Play a song that lifts you up. Go outside with a book and read your coffee for 5 minutes. Reread something that you're proud of. Say it's an email from a colleague who's telling you you're doing a good job. And do this before you start anything that's important to you. It's not about ignoring your problems or believing that there's going to be a happy ever after. It's just about giving your brain the emotional, positive fuel it needs to actually begin the task. So why don't you try this for 3 days? I know it's a really straightforward, simple thing, but if you've got 3 days of busy work, just for 5 minutes before you start anything that's important or has meaning to you or other people, 5 minutes of joy beforehand. So it's that fuel inside you. There's a lot of stuff that I could talk about in this book, but I have 2 really great takeaways from it that actually stick with me more than anything else. The first one is do your worrying before you place your bet. So you imagine this, you're at a table in Las Vegas, never been to Las Vegas, maybe I'll go there one day, and you decide where you're going to place your bet on the board. But once you've done that, you place the bet, that's when the worrying stops. And this applies to anything. Maybe you're waiting to hear the results from something. Maybe you've got a big date with someone you're really trying to impress. All it means is trust the process, do the thinking beforehand, but once you've placed the bet and you've done everything that you can't worry anymore, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. My second favourite takeaway from here is to live your life in day-tight compartments. Imagine you are on a ship and there's seals on all the doors to keep all the water out. When you wake up in the morning, reflect this into your life. Seal away yesterday, seal away tomorrow, and just be there in the moment and the present. So it's living your life in day-tight compartments. Do everything that you can within that day-tight compartment. Don't worry about the past or what's coming, because you can only influence today, and make it the best that you can. Dr. Maltz has some seriously good insights from the 1960s that reflect on us today. I'd highly recommend giving it a read, and let me know how you get on. What do you think? What can you apply from this book to your beliefs?